today, random thoughts I have, and I was as I was getting dressed and listening to what I listened to in the morning, I thought about, and I was swiping, and I saw something, and I said, I thought about certain instances of going down the rabbit hole, and I said, but this won't be an instance of the rabbit hole. It made me think of the death of a brain hole. My brain hole. The death of a brain hole. Like, I always try to catch myself before I wreck myself. And when I'm thinking of certain things, because I don't want to get into the overthinking it, or I try to catch myself and say, is this making me change my inner feelings? Is it making me, I pay attention to how it's making me feel, something that I've heard, something that I've seen. And the thought of the death of the brain cell, the death of the brain hole. I'm just going to talk today. Random thoughts. So as I was swiping earlier, I saw something, and the person said, well, I'm not a conspiracy theory person, and they were talking about the article with the KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. And years ago, I stopped eating this because I saw a video and it just turned me off. But for someone that loves food, love to eat, I used to love to cook. It bothers me with, the current situation and where the world has gone, America, with the food situation. It's obvious. It's totally obvious. Well, it could be in my opinion, but I feel as though it's obvious how bad it is and what it's doing to harm us.
Turn left onto North 40th Street.
And so I said, like I said, I've been down this road years ago and been noticing a lot of stuff about the food, and I've had to go through changes myself with my body, my own body. And where people tried to get me to think that it's because I'm aging, just accept it. And I found out that wasn't true for me. I dug into and found something to do and saw great results. So I did not have to stay that way and just say it's because I'm old. And so the one where the lady was
1 mile, turn right onto East Thomas Road.
The one thing where the lady was talking about the KFC for 2025 or something like that. She said there's an article, and it mentioned the word conspiracy theory. And I would hear about this a few years ago about, I hate to say it, like, it's just so disgusting, of feeding human remains to people. And when I was doing my homework on that before, I thought that it was something. They do have restaurants, I hear, I think it was one in New York or one somewhere, and you'd have to sign a document saying you agree with that. I didn't want to go too far deep down that rabbit hole because it was just very not aligned with my way of thinking, and it just disgusts me, and as an individual, just disgusting. And so when I clicked away from that, it was still on my mind. Like I could
At the
feel,
next light, turn right.
I could feel my my face like turning up in disgust, and I could feel some of these thoughts come into my head, and I can't believe, you know, how people think, and you know how people feel as though they can feed people certain stuff, you know, and the FDA, to this, to that, to that, to that, to that, and then I started thinking a little bit more, and I was like, I like to catch myself in what I'm thinking, so that, say
At the
for
light, turn right
example,
onto East Thomas Road. Then turn left.
say for example, that one article could have, if I let it, upset me the whole day to the point where I'm just thinking about that when I go eat.
Turn left.
I'm
Then
just
the destination is on your right.
I'm just thinking about that when, you know, I go to work or I'm around somebody and I'm like, can you believe this? The KFC and the chicken and the this and the that, and then just keep thinking about it and keep talking about it. And I was like, oh no, that's not gonna happen. First of all, I'm not going down a rabbit hole on that. I'm not gonna look nothing up about it, because I've been down that road before. I know a little teeny weeny bit, and my action was to stop eating it. And then, even though it still creeps in my mind, because I'll eat, for example, Cane's chicken, and I'm like, I gotta stop eating this because it feels like
The
I'm
destination
chewing.
is on your right.
I'm chewing.
FedEx office print and ship center.
I'm chewing plastic, and so, but I'll still eat it, you know, every now and then or whatever. And then I started thinking, like, me cooking back in the day, and I don't know, I just wanted to get that off my head, like how it could be any topic or anything can stunt my brain cells, can stunt my way of thinking into only one way and one way only, and I get stuck like that. Okay, let me tell you. So one day, not too long ago, I was out, and this happened with two people back to back, and I was like, what's the meaning behind, is there a meaning behind this? And one person, he kept saying something from his past. He was homeless and he was mentally ill, and you know, he'll go into the fast food restaurant, and he got what out of Taco Bell, he got what he wanted, and he came back, you know, wheeled his wheelchair, he was in a wheelchair, and he had a phrase that he kept saying, and it was from back in the day, and I'm sure that phrase for all these years got stuck in his head, and he cannot get out of that one phrase, that one situation that he was in for so many years, that one phrase that hurt him. I can't remember exactly how he said it. He said, he was in the military, because he said something about, you know, being, they called him a faggot or something. You faggot, you getting out, or you discharged, or something like that. But that phrase that he kept saying over and over and over, and he would yell it. You know how some homeless people, they start yelling, you know, the crazy stuff or whatever. But his was that one phrase. And I started thinking, I was like, that's the phrase that probably just took him out once he was discharged from the military, and he can't get over that phrase and can't get over that situation, you know. And then there was a female that was the same way, and she had one phrase that she would yell about, just one phrase. I don't know. The death of a brain hole. Like, you can think about something and it'll make you feel a certain way, and you react on that, and it'll put feelings in your body the whole day. And if you're not careful, is me, what I think, if you're not careful, later on down the week, you're like, why am I still feeling irritable? Why is something nagging at me? Why, you know, and it's that same thing where you've heard something or somebody has said something to you that really either got you upset or really hurt you, and you can't get it out of your head, you know. And this is another reason why I like brain dumping, being able to talk on my YouTube channel and just brain dump and talk it out regardless of what I'm talking. So I'm just thinking about that today. So that statement, that's a you problem. And as I'm in FedEx, and they're like, you have to scan something, you have to wait, and I'm like, it's not there yet. It was like, it can take a while. So I'm like, why am I feeling anxious? I'm eating a Boston donut. So they're, I'm like, why am I feeling anxious? Or annoyed? Whatever it is. And then I thought, I was like, you haven't had your coffee this morning. And so I was like, what's around here? Let me go get some coffee. So I left the FedEx and I walked to Dunkin' Donuts and got me some coffee. And I said, now I feel better. But I'm thinking, there's been times where I'm waiting in places and I get annoyed and I'll walk back and forth and I won't pay attention to how I'm feeling inside. Now, when I went to get the coffee, I got the donut, I feel a lot more relaxed, you know? So paying attention to my feelings or how I feel when I'm doing things, conducting business in front of people, not in front of people. How do I feel? Am I hungry? Did I have enough sleep? What's on my mind? It's a me. It really is that's a you problem. It's a me problem. So I was just thinking, I love those videos where, you know how they have the captions of what somebody is thinking, whether they're in a hospital as a patient or they're a family member or just, you know, walking everyday life, and it's like you see so many people and you gather a caption of what this one is thinking, what that one is thinking, or what they have just gone through. You know, things like, I just got diagnosed with cancer, and they have the big bubble, or I just got a divorce, and you know, they have the bubble coming off their head, but you never know. Just going through everyday life, what's in people's heads. Why, to me, why that is important is because, like I mentioned just now, I noticed standing there waiting around, and I was annoyed a little bit. I was like, I don't know what the word is, but I wasn't at ease, right? And it made me feel so much better after I got my coffee. And in situations like that, if somebody would have said something to me, I would have been easy to snap, right? By not paying attention to my thoughts and my why am I feeling a certain way. And so I bring this up about, you know, when you're around a lot of people or you deal with customer service on a daily basis, and gosh, which video that was I watched, so at the job they have these videos where you watch like Own the Moment, and some of them, those videos are really touching. And a female soldier was saying before, I think she had a traumatic brain injury, and she just looked so beautiful, had her hair and her clothes, and she said nobody would ever, she's walking down the street, nobody would ever know I'm not the same who I used to be. Things like that. And then you have the one guy, he always gets me every year I have to watch this one, and this young person is on there, and he comes back, the video is about, he comes back from the military, got all his little folders, medical folders in his arm, and as he walked through the VA, he's shocked because somebody greeted him, and you know, may I help you? I'll walk with you to this place or that place. And then the psychiatrist, the way she approached him, just made him feel like, this is not what I heard about. I didn't expect all of this at this place, right? I expected the worst. But when he got there, he got the best. And walked out of there feeling so good. But it's like what we put in our brain, if we allow the things that we don't do for ourselves, things that can help us in I'm not going down that toxic positivity mode, but things that help us in a positive mode to make us feel good within our soul, within ourselves, within our minds on an everyday basis, or those things help us interact with people, and whether they're positive people, negative people, good people, bad people, toxic people, whatever, however we want to label it, it helps deal with it better when we can. And that's why I'm sharing from my experience, when we can look at ourselves and find out what is within the self that can or cannot be improved. And how hard are we willing to fight for things that are within that would make us feel so much better. And then when you're interacting with other people, no matter how they act towards you or towards other people, it makes it a lot easier and feel better when you become aware of certain things in the mind and the thoughts and the actions and things of that nature. Something I just thought about real quick is that, you know, I hesitated a little bit as I said the word aware. And sometimes people take certain words that are said and twist them for their narrative to make you think it's something that it's not. But if you just take words or your thoughts for you and how you want to feel, regardless of what somebody else says about it, that's all that matters, because it's all about your mind, your thoughts, your feel good, attacking what don't feel good inside. And can you get it to feel good? Just random thoughts. Okay, so while I was talking, I saw the alert come up on top of the screen of the phone from wherever I sent something to. When I got off the video, the last when I was just talking, it said it was not eligible. So as I'm thinking and talking about not being and paying attention to what makes me irritated, what makes me blah blah blah, I didn't like go off when I saw the email come back and say it's not legible, it's ineligible. And so, okay, so now I gotta go back into FedEx, I gotta pay again, I gotta take my time and do it again and figure out what's not legible and why is it not legible. And so I can think of the old me would have been just so irritated, and I would just let it go and not handle my business, or let it prolong and procrastinate and just let it go, or just get upset and fussy the whole time. But once I start looking at how I'm feeling, how I'm reacting to certain things, it makes it much better. And I can go in with a calm mind and just correct it with a calm mind. Just take one step at a time and get it done. You know? So that's that. I just wanted to elaborate on a small level of paying attention to what's in the mind and sharing as I do that, paying attention to my reactions to certain situations as I pay attention to how the outside world can creep on into this thing right here if I let it. Whether it be circumstances, outside circumstances, whether it be people or whatever. That constant watch it. And then that goes with feelings, so that I don't get or go down to that what I call today the death of a brain hole. So some of this is leading me to say, go this way. A pretty face, an ugly face, a face I look into the mirror and see, I can't change unless I go get a facelift. And then it's like, why would I do that? Am I doing it for me? Am I doing it for somebody else? Is it about the things that would make me feel good by making those around me feel good, whether it be in a relationship? Like, why do I do things or want to change things about myself? And who is it for? Is it really for me? Should it be for me? Or should it be for someone else? An intimate partner, for people I see every day at work, for my neighbors, for business partners? Or should it just be? I saw something, or I heard something, whether it was a quote or a saying that said, it was a saying from Gabber. You don't need to change. Once you realize you don't need to change, or in order to change, you need to become who you are. So why does this become an issue of what I want to change, why I want to change? What is it to become? It's an issue because I don't know. But it does make me think. And I think back, being in long-term relationship, why do I want to change people? Because they don't do some of the things that I may not do, some of the things that I want them to do. Why do I want to change them? They are who they are. And then I think, why do I get so irritated when people talk about people in a negative way? Why does it feel like a dagger, a sharp knife to my heart? I'm aware and know that I can't change these people. I know that I don't want to try to convince them to think the way that I think, or know some of the things that I know of why people are the way they are. because I've become critical too of people. Not only because of that, but because I can't change that person's views of other people. Like I said, random thoughts today. Wanted to reflect a little bit on the richness in me. That rich woman. You're rich. So I was thinking about looking back on life, and someone, bless his heart, rest in peace, I grew up with, and I used to cook a lot, and he would say, why do you have to do your meals like that? You serve them like nobody can eat them. It's like it needs to be on the picture of a magazine.
At the light, turn right onto East Thomas Road.
Back then I would think it was the love that was in me for food. I knew we would all devour the food. Like, why take the time and make it all pretty? Or like when you do the rice, you put it in the small little bowl and pack it and turn it upside down, and it has a little mount, right? And it's like, why take the time to do that? I guess, as he was saying, we're just gonna eat it anyway. You're wasting your time. And to me,
at the light, turn left onto North 36th
even
Street.
then, I guess I didn't know how to answer that. I just took it as a compliment. And now I look back on it, it was something I loved to do. And I love to cook and I love to prepare. And it made me happy to see people happy. I made so many different types and learned different styles and types of food, traveling all over the world, meeting different types of people, gathering recipes here and there.
At the next light,
So,
turn left.
whether, you know, just all different types of taste. And I smile because I'm thinking about somebody going in my cabinets and saying, Hungarian paprika, what is wrong with you? But it was just something I love to do. And I never ever took it as I'm wasting my time the way I prepare. I loved it and I felt it in my soul. Like, it just made me happy. It brought great joy to me to be able to do this, you know. And
At the light, turn left onto East Oak Street.
and then I remember another one. The sibling said, no, the same one said, one day you're gonna be rich. And I looked at him, and then the sibling to that one said, she's already rich. Nah, I was poor as I don't know what. So poor. As one of them said a long time ago, we so poor you can't even afford the other O.
Turn
and
right
poor.
onto North 34th Street.
It's
then
poor.
turn right onto East Harvard Street.
We so poor. We poor. P-O-R. Can't even afford the other O in the poor. But anyway, so the other one said, she's already rich. And he looked at me and said, it's not about money. You're rich in the mind.
At the light, turn right onto North 32nd Street. Then turn right onto East Harvard Street.
You're rich in the mind. I didn't think too deep about that either. I just smiled. And today as I look back, I'm like, all the croupity, crappity, coopity, messity, heavy load, thunderstorms.
Turn right onto East Harvard Street.
Stuff that I have went through.
At the next stop sign, turn right.
One thing I love is my mind. I don't know about it being rich or nothing like that, but I see the value in being able to think on my own, love the thoughts of others. You know how they say, eat the fish and spit out the bones. To be able to make my own decisions about things. To be
At
able
the stop
to
sign, turn right onto North 34th Street.
To
Then
be-
turn left onto East Oak Street.
to be able to not hurt, or how to process certain things that come into my mind or my thoughts, whether from other people, whether from circumstances, outside
At the
circumstances.
stop sign, turn left onto East Oak Street.
And then I think about, growing up and always hearing a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And I always equate it as, you gotta read. You gotta read what you do. But what you reading. Because back then I was like, oh, they say you gotta read. I would read all the Daniel Steele and all the romance books and other stuff. Because I sure wasn't reading history in school. I would fail
In
that.
1.3 miles, turn right.
But anyway, the mind can be what you want it to be once you look and think about, in this case, my own. Let me cut this off. So I don't know where I be going. I get lost going around the corner. But the mind is something else when you exercise it for yourself and come up with your own things inside of your own mind and take actions from what's inside of your mind and your thoughts. It's beautiful. I'm gonna call it, like he said, it's rich. The rich mind. It's mine. It is rich. To my knowledge. To my standards. As I reflect back on the thought of when I used to say, and I spent a lot of time, and it used to puzzle me, when I used to question myself, like, who are you? Like, who are you really? I don't even know who you are to myself. When things happen, or, just going through things or experiencing things in life, I used to be serious about that question. Who are you? Like, dang. And then I think, I'm wondering if all this stuff at what point start to unravel. Getting quiet and thinking and thinking and thinking. And then I remember someone said, "You're changing. You're not the Emily that I know. Like, what is wrong with you? You're changing." And I looked. I'm changing. We can call it that. And now I'm thinking back on that statement. First of all, it's from someone that did not know me from childhood, did not spend a lot of time with me, just known me for not that long of a time. And I think with the training and learning that I had, it's like I can't just say and do and copy and feel. In this case, when someone says, just say no, right? I believe that's a case-by-case basis, and I don't feel as though in most cases in my situation, it just happens like that where I'm like, no, or I have to say no and know when to say no if it's going to take away from what I'm doing or what I'm feeling, if it's not if I'm feel guilty or pressured about that saying no, and I go ahead and do something or accept something, and I'm like, why did I accept it? Why didn't I? So in this case, when somebody says you're changing, not too long ago, it was about less than a year ago, that don't really know me. And now I think about it and I'm like, you know what? I guess I am. Yeah, I am. And with all the training and me looking into myself and things of that nature, my responses to you can make you say, I am changing. Or am I really changing, or am I becoming? I know one thing, it just happens. I don't have to think too much anymore. And it just happens out of nowhere where I don't accept and abide by things that doesn't make me feel good or that don't feel right for me. So by me speaking up and saying what is really on my mind, the perception to you of me would be, you're changing. Yeah. If I had to jump in into that box, yeah. I can see it. I can feel it. I understand it. It is what it is. Some things that were said, some things that were done, some things that were felt. I spoke up about it. I reacted in the way that I don't accept it. And I'll take. You're changing. It's okay. I'll take that. But I'm not going to take what I don't like or what I feel as though I can speak up about without feeling shameful for it. Changing, becoming, changing. Now, this thing of change that's in somebody else's mind, I can't get into, because I mean, I can acknowledge it, and it makes me wonder. And now I'm reflecting back, as I say, yeah, it is change, but it has to be, for me, why does it matter? Who does it matter to? What is going to happen with what is known as a possible change, and how? The same with, if you use the words becoming self, becoming who you are, not necessarily changing, but you're getting quiet, getting into your mind, and becoming who you truly are without being afraid to do the things that are in your mind, without being scared or afraid of what someone has said or how someone acts to you and saying, you need not do this, you need not to believe this or that way, or point blank, who do you think you are? You know, things of that nature. But I want to share with you today, whether you're on that journey of becoming or you feel like you're changing, regardless of what someone else is saying to you, when I'm talking to myself, pimping ain't easy. It really is not easy. Especially depending on what you have in that teeny weeny pea brain of yours, or that big old brain of yours. It ain't easy. And so doing it by yourself, or you know how much you can or cannot do with others, and then you don't, and you realize you can or cannot depend on others, but nobody is going to do it and feel it and be it and believe it the way you do. So that makes the journey even harder. But there's so much information out here, and even that can be hard. I was going to give you an example, but I'll hold on to that for a minute, for later time. But even going out to get your own information can be hard. It can be hard. But if you stay at it, and now I'm at this point where, because I have a whole lot of things lined up and not complete nothing. Maybe one or two things that are of not much substance. And so now I'm at the point I can smile and feel good inside because I'm like, I completed that. I kept going and quieted my mind to say, you don't have to complete all this at one time. It's how you feel like you're gonna be okay. And it's a greater feeling when you complete one thing at a time. And now sometimes that one thing that, say for example, I have completed is complete, but it's not complete. I still have questions. I still don't know how to activate or bring it forth. And it's all one day at a time. One day, one step at a time. And you get over that, whatever people try to put in your mind to project their feelings onto you. You know, you need to go out, you need to have fun, you need to, whatever they think you should be doing. Because they can't understand what you're doing, why you're doing it. Because you don't even understand sometimes. That's me. I don't even understand, but I know I'm doing something towards something. This was a long rant today on random thoughts, but I'm definitely 100% done for today. And I feel good now that I got those random thoughts out. Enjoy your day. Have a beautiful day. Until next time, peace.